What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be predicting the COD Champs winner, and we're going to be going through the whole bracket, predicting who is going to be the champion of Modern Warfare 3. I am battling a bit of a cold right now, so I sound weird. Also, this is going to be the last video with this microphone. I just ordered a new microphone on Prime Day, so yeah, last weird, quiet sounding video, hopefully. But without further ado, let's just get right into this. This is probably the least active I've been in the competitive Call of Duty scene in the last year in Modern Warfare 3, just because, I don't know, this year's been pretty boring. You got the top 4 teams, and then no one really after that. I mean, yeah, I'm glad that the subliners won Major 4, though, so that each of the top 4 teams actually won a major. It makes this champs bracket a little bit more interesting in terms of which of those 4 are going to win it. But I mean, at the end of the day, at least on Thursday, I don't think it'll be fun to watch, but I don't think it's going to be too interesting. Hopefully Black Ops 6 competitively will be better, but let's get into the first matchup, which is Thursday. I know I'm recording this late, but I've been crazy busy. Starting at 12:45, that's wrong. This game should start at noon. And we have the 4 seed against the 5 seed, the subliners against the Seattle Surge. And the subliners are coming off the Major 4 victory. And here's how I think it's going to go. Subliners going to win map 1. Surge going to win map 2. Surge are awful at control, but they can win a hard point. I have the subliners taking this one 3-2. I'm pretty high on the Surge coming into this tournament, just because they've been on the rise ever since signing 04. I think, out of any of the bottom 8 teams, they're the one team that can compete with the top 4. But the subliners coming off a win, they're just the better team. They've been the better team all year. They might be the bottom of the bottom 4 teams, but they've owned Seattle all year, and I just don't see them dropping this matchup on Thursday. Our next up is FaZe against Miami, the one against the 8 seed. And Miami has been so bad on LAN all year. They've had like one good tournament. I don't remember if it was Major 3 or Major 4, where they won like 2 matches in the losers bracket. But even then, it's not enough. They're a bottom of the barrel, barely made it in the champs team. I think FaZe is going to come in and rock them 3-0. I don't see Miami taking a map off of FaZe in round 1 of champs, which sets up this matchup on Friday. But next up is Ultra versus the Thieves. I'm pretty sure Ultra's the 2 seed, and Thieves are the 7, which would make Optic 3 and Gorilla 6. I'm pretty sure that's how it is, and I'm just going to rock with that, because Ultra is the second best team this year in this game. And the Thieves, honestly, who do they have? Joe Deceives, what is it, Kremp, and Ghosty? Who was their 4th guy? I don't even know. The Thieves might be the most boring team this year. Like, the most boring popular team, at least. I couldn't even, they haven't done anything all year. They've just been disappointing. And Ultra's been the opposite. They're a top 2 team. I have Ultra, 3-0ing the Thieves here. Maybe give them a map. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to give Thieves a map, but I have Ultra just 3-0ing, coming out of the gate strong in this tournament. Last tournament they lost to LAG in the first round as a 1 seed. I think hopefully they learn their lesson here and don't start off slow. They're going to start out strong with 3-0. Then we have Optic versus LAG, and this is where I've been hearing a lot of wishy-washy. What Optic are we going to see? What LAG are we going to see? Everyone's high on LAG after their last tournament performance, but they had a pretty favorable schedule in that tournament. They caught Ultra off guard on a bad day, and they win a good match against them, and then they play the Thieves in the second round, I'm pretty sure. And then what happens? So that's guaranteed top 3. What happened after that? They got double 3-0'd and out of the tournament. I'm not as high on LAG as everyone else is. They're still LAG. Look at what they've done all year, not much before Major 4. And Optic is a top 4 team, and they did go 1-6. They got the 12th seed, and were first out in the losers bracket last major. Just a complete disaster after winning Major 3. Don't know what happened there, but they've had 2 to 3 weeks to regroup and get back to the team that we all know that they're capable of being. And I think LAG takes maybe the S&D off of Optic, but I think Optic's just going to be too strong in the respawns for LAG to keep up. If you don't have the top 4 coming out of Thursday, I don't know what you're doing, to be honest. I'd be shocked if any upsets happened. If any upsets were to happen, it'd probably be Seattle or LAG. But I'm not buying into LAG. And Subliners are too tough for Seattle to beat on Thursday. So that's what I'm rocking with on Thursday. We come to Friday into the losers bracket, first matchup of the day. Miami versus Seattle, 8 seed versus the 5 seed. I do have Seattle taking this one 3-1. I think Miami maybe takes the control off of them, just because Seattle, in fact, I think they played each other recently, maybe in Major 4 qualifiers, and this is exactly how it went. I don't see Miami getting anything off Seattle here. I think Seattle's just the better team. They're on the up, and Miami's awful on land. I'll give them a map. But goodbye, Miami. You are done for the season, except for the World Cup. And then next we have the Battle of LA, which historically I feel like I'm pretty sure the Thieves have dominated, but this year it's been the Gorillas. And like I said, the Thieves are boring. I don't see them coming out and doing anything special. The Gorillas have been on the up. Estriel might win Rookie of the Year. And they're just the more exciting team. So I have the Gorillas moving on in this matchup. It's either going to be 3-1 or 3-2. I'm only going to give the Thieves one map. I don't remember how badly the Gorillas beat the Thieves in the last major. But yeah, I have the Gorillas moving on and getting a top 6 at least in their champs performance after how they did in Major 4. And yeah, the Thieves just not high in them. Thieves fans, I'm sorry, but you are done for the season, except for the World Cup. And then next on Friday is the 3 o'clock matchup between Toronto and Optic. This will be a good one. This tournament is in Arlington, Texas, I'm pretty sure. So Optic home crowd will be crazy. They will be hectic. But I don't think it's going to matter against Toronto. Like I said, I think Toronto's just coming out in this tournament, and they're going to be a top 2 team. And Optic, they've had enough time to regroup, enough to beat the Gorillas, but not enough to beat Toronto. I have Toronto winning this one 3-1, maybe even 3-0. They're just going to be too strong. I'm not that high on Optic this year. They've been a great team. But in the big moments, I just see Toronto coming out on top in this matchup on Friday at 3 o'clock. Next up at 4:30, FaZe against Subliners. This is a rematch of the Major 4 championship, right? Yeah, it was FaZe. And you know what? I think FaZe is going to 3-0 New York here. That is what I have. The Subliners have been the worst top 4 team all year long. They've been inconsistent. Kismet has been inconsistent. Sib is kind of their X factor. And Sib has a good champs record. He did at least with Seattle. He's always performed well at champs. But I just think FaZe, all 4 of those guys over there, they're going to come out too strong for New York to keep up with. Dropping New York and Optic down into the losers bracket. And that brings us to Saturday. Saturday is going to be a hectic day. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 matchups on Saturday, is that? Okay, yeah. Well, let's get right into it with the first matchup. On Saturday, it is the Subliners against the LA Gorillas. And here we just have a case of a top 4 team against a bottom 8 team. I probably shouldn't say that because I don't know how consistent that's going to be with my predictions, but at least with this one, I have the Subliners 3-0ing LAG knocking LAG out of champs. See you later. You had a decent run. You won one matchup, but you're not good enough to beat the top four. Subliners are going to be at least top four at champs. Then we have Optic and Surge. Now you might be pretty bored at this video right now, right? No upsets, nothing whatsoever. Well, here's where it's gonna be. Sorry, Optic fans, but I think this is one that Seattle can win. Seattle's been on the up, and Optic's been on the down. That's really all it comes down to here. The momentum. I think Seattle can take both S&Ds off Optic. Optic have been awful in Search and Destroy recently, and then you need Seattle to win one hardpoint, and I think they can do that. They have a decent map pool. I think they can take a Vista or a Rio off Optic. Those are some of Seattle's good hardpoint maps. And you're just asking for one of those, and then to win the two S&Ds. I think they can do this. Seattle eliminated Optic from champs last year. SIB 1v3 on, what was that map? The market map, I don't even remember. And I think it happens again this year. Optic only gets top 6 at champs this year. They won a major, they won major 3. But kind of just a repeat of what Optic has done every year. Fall short at champs, maybe win one major, have a decent year, but yeah, this is going to be my upset. I have Seattle getting top 4 in champs, and Optic getting top 6. So that game's at 4:30. This one's at 3. So this one's first. We have the winners final FaZe against Toronto. This is going to be a banger. I really don't know who's going to win this. It's probably the toughest matchup. We got a best of 5 here. And what it comes down to for me, I thought about this earlier today, is these are the juggernauts. They're the top 2 teams in the league. You have the big 3 on each side. Insight, Scrap, Kleenex against Simpa, BZ, and Celium. But their new additions, Draza versus Envoy. Who has been better this year? Who has been better additions to their team? And by a landslide, it's been Draza. Envoy has struggled. You never know which Envoy you're going to get. He is Toronto's X Factor. If he's not shooting straight, Toronto does not have a chance against FaZe. I know Ultra has beat FaZe a couple times this year. You know, it's been a pretty even matchup. But I think in this winners final, on Saturday, I have FaZe beating Toronto. We'll say 3-1 or 3-2. I'll say 3-1. Yeah, I have FaZe going to the grand finals, losing only one map in their path to get there, and that drops Toronto down. In past tournaments and in champs last year, it was Toronto that went undefeated into the grand finals and then got swept by New York last year. This year, I think they get their loss in the winners final this time, and maybe get humbled earlier, like on Saturday before Sunday, and maybe that's good for them. But who are they going to face in the elimination final? The next matchup is Seattle versus New York, and once again, I just don't think Seattle has enough slaying power. You know, I gave them this upset to beat one of the top 4 teams, but I don't think they can do it again. I have New York winning this one 3-1. Back in round 1, where is it? It's up here. I gave Seattle 2 maps. I think they only get one here, probably only the S&D. But when it comes to respawns, I think by this time of the day in the tournament, I just think their slaying is going to be burnt out, and it's not going to be enough to keep up with the likes of the New York subliners. So I have Surge getting top 4. What a year for them, you know. Couple bumps, but you know, as a Seattle fan, I'll take it. And top 4 at champs is what they got last year. Top 3 the year before that. Can't complain too much. Yeah, I would be very happy with this, especially given the fact that, you know, they weren't one of the top 4 teams, and they beat one of them, hopefully. So yeah, and then we have 3. It's FaZe waiting to see who they play between Toronto and New York. And honestly, it's going to be Toronto. I think Toronto bounces back, and it's going to be Toronto versus FaZe. These are the two top teams in the league all year long, and that's when it comes to champs. The time that they've had off to regroup, champs will show who is the best and who are the best teams by the end of the year. And I think that's just Toronto. New York, they had a good year, maybe not as good as they would have hoped. How many maps am I going to give them? 0. I'll say Toronto comes in and swaps them. Because, yeah, they're just better. And then we have a best-of-9 grand final between FaZe and Toronto. I mean, 3 weeks ago, when Major 4 ended, I knew that this is who was going to be in my final. They've just been the two best, all right? They're the two best teams. Envoy has champs final experience. He has a ring. Does he show up in the grand final? Draza was on that Thieves team too. I mean, he's got grand finals experience. Which one's going to show up? I honestly, I don't know. This could go either way. I think if you have anyone other than these two teams winning champs, I would smack you around a little bit. You might be stretching a little too far, but either of these two teams could win it. I think these are the two. Who's going to take it all though? In a best-of-9? I don't know. Who's got a better map pool? I think probably FaZe, because they just seem to be good at the newer maps that drop. But given enough time, maybe Toronto has figured it out. I know FaZe literally just lost Rio Hardpoint for the first time all year to New York. Last major in the finals, I think it was. Simp and Abizi haven't really seemed to find the ice in these champs finals the last few years, in Vanguard, and Modern Warfare. No, it wasn't Modern Warfare 2. What was before Vanguard? Cold War? Yeah, I don't know. But do they find it here in Modern Warfare 3? I think Simp is the MVP of Modern Warfare 3. I think he's been the best player all year. He should win MVP, and I think that'll be my deciding factor. Simp wins MVP. It's his year. I think it'll be close though. I'll give Toronto 3 maps. I think Draza was the best addition FaZe has ever made. Better than Slasher, better than R-Cities. He fits in well. He's a phenomenal player, as much as people hate him. He was really good at Call of Duty. Scrap is too, but I think that, Scrap needs more help than what he's got to beat just a full and complete team like FaZe. At the top of their game, I have FaZe winning champs in 2024. I know it's kind of boring, but I mean, this year's been kind of boring, so you can't blame me too much. It'll be a fun tournament. Unfortunately, I won't be able to watch too much of it. I have a really busy weekend. But I just thought I'd record because, I fill out all the brackets for all the tournaments. But I don't see a ton of people predicting champs. And when they do, I don't know. I guess mine was boring too, but I feel like a lot of them are delusional, especially, Optic fans love to, Optic fans always have Optic winning it all, and, they won one major, but, reality is, it's not going to happen every time. And I know FaZe is just a really boring pick, and truth is, they choke a lot in the finals, but they've had time, champs is a different breed. So yeah, I have FaZe 1, Toronto 2, New York 3, Seattle 4, Optic and LAG 5 and 6, Thieves and Miami 7 and 8. Thanks for tuning in to my champs bracket, and go Seattle. I'll be cheering for them. Other than that, I'll talk to you. Peace.